Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
I have one thing to say. You should never, ever, ever plan on doing an open mic live stream opposite Ethan Van Sciver, because especially when he's pushing a book on its last night. And apparently, this is the last night for Mark Poulton's Graveyard Shift. You thought I was going to say John Malin, didn't you? Co-creator. Yeah, and I've recently learned that Mark Poulton does not get nearly enough recognition for that, so I don't want him to end up being the Bill Finger to John Malin's Bob Kane. So Mark Poulton, co-creator of Graveyard Shift. I know this because we had him on the show just this past week, so we were very glad to talk with him and his co-creator Mike McMahon on U.S. Assassin. And then after that, on Friday, we had Paul Jenkins, who you might remember from a few comic books like Wolverine Origin, things like that. He has a new book that he's out on Kickstarter with, and he'll be bringing it to Indiegogo called Fairy Quest. And then last night we had How to Die, same folks that brought you Eudaimonia. It's a thinking man's comic. It's got some morality plays going on in there, and this one's a monster story with a lot of horror going on in it. So if you want to check out the playlist and get back to that, do that after the video. You want to stick around for this video because later on in it, assuming we actually have a chat going on, this is not a foregone conclusion, but we will be giving away via trivia question this copy of Riverdale, the complete 4th season, to someone in the chat a little bit later on, probably about 30 minutes in or so. So if you want to, tell your friends, why does anybody tell you to tell your friends to come in and join a giveaway when there's only one? It would seem to me that logic would say tell nobody and thus limit the odds to just me. But for some reason, it's a social thing where all these online contests, to enter it, you have to tell everybody else about them, which seems to make your chances of winning a little less slim, a little more slim. So it's been a fun week of reading comics this week. I feel like I read a lot of comics when I really read only one new comic, and that would be the Detective Comics 1027. I've been a lot of 80th anniversaries and 1000th issues and such these past 2 years. This is one of the better ones. It's very few stories in here were pass-on kind of things, and even those were well done. So I would recommend getting. Was that one any good? Yeah, Many Happy Returns. That one was okay too. It was more of a Gotham Knight story, not that much Batman in it, more of the Gotham Police. So Detective 1027, best story in there is probably Detective number 26. So, hey, Gabriel, glad you popped by tonight. Looking forward to seeing you again sometime. And speaking of seeing people, we have the link here in our chat stream for this open mic. It's the very first thing you'll see at the top of the chat. Feel free to click on that if you want to come in and talk comics, push comics, deride comics. I don't care. If we're going to talk comics, just come on. It's a much funner, I'm making the word up, it's a much funner show if we have somebody to talk to. And it's not just me. I mean, I could sit here and you could watch me play Candy Crush, but what's the fun in that, I mean, it's okay for me. I'm like on level 1026. Nah, I'm not even going to check. I've been playing it a long time. It's a boredom game. So, and it's one of those things that's going to cause the downfall of society because we'll all be looking at our little app games while somebody's dropping nukes on us, I'm sure. So, what's going on in your world? Talk to me, people. Let me know what comics you're watching. I got some videos I got to review too. I'm kind of waiting till Tuesday to start getting into this Legends disc set, largely because it doesn't come out till Tuesday. And I've learned from hard experience, if you try to cash in the digital code on these things before the thing actually comes out. It'll finish up at Warner's, but it won't go through to Voodoo, and then the whole thing has become invalidated, and it's just a mess to try to get back. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to do early reviews on that. I'll just do them the day they come out. It's not like I haven't seen all the episodes on television anyway. Today's reviewing was confined to, let's see, I did DVD watching of Beckman, which is interesting because it's an assassin story told in a Christian format. So it was pull and push, a lot of tug of war going on there with how far they were going to take things, and they did okay. And the other thing that I started watching was a binging of the first season of Prodigal Son. For review purposes, we'll have that coming out soon as well. And you have to watch for that on criticalblast.com. We have actually made a new little screen here. We're going to have that at the beginning of every video to kind of set up for a little bit before we actually do the go live thing. So, it gives people a little bit of a chance to get in. And it's just this little, where to find us, that kind of thing. So obviously we have the website where all our reviews and interviews and opinion pieces are posted. We actually do some investigative journalism, and we've got a piece we're working on right now that we think you're going to be interested in when we get that finished up. And it's about the comic book industry and some things going on in there that I don't see anybody else writing about right now. So it's not an opinion piece. This is going to be a kind of a deep dive, and it's going to make some people unhappy. But then, if you want to follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, these are the social accounts that you want to follow. I'm pretty sure we had a Tumblr account, but honest to God, we just reserved it so nobody else would. Who does that? Someday we might do a Twitch account if somebody, enough people tell us that they'd rather watch us there. I don't see the need to go to Twitch, or why I would want to go to Twitch over YouTube. Don't really even see the need to have Facebook Live in addition to YouTube, since we have it, but we got both. So anyway, that's what we've got going on here. I am looking forward to having somebody pop in the chat, because you all have comic books you want to pimp, and that's what we're here for. We certainly don't want to. Where's my folder at? Oh, there it is. Another review we got coming up here. I'm not going to show any images of it because I've got the PDF here for advanced review. We're going to be looking at Justin Dutton's Unstitched for review. And it's not often that we get to review crowdfunded books. So we talk about them a lot on the stream, but as for actually doing a full-on published review, we do them for the ones that, quite frankly, the ones we invest in ourselves. So, and that makes sense. I mean, we're not going to get it for free. We should pay for it, and we do. Coming up this week, we got Nicholas Mueller is going to be on here talking about Demon Hunter Raven, his book. That's on Tuesday at 7. And then on Thursday, we have kind of a big deal. If you're a fan of the Amulet graphic novel series from Scholastic, we're going to have Kazu Kabuishi will be joining us to talk about all of the Amulet books that are on there. People dual load on Dive simultaneously with YouTube. Okay, well, then I will always stick with YouTube. One of these days, there'll be a super chat button for you guys to smash on, because I know it's the thing to look for, right? It's what you want to do. That's why you come here, is to hit those super chat buttons. If you haven't started a channel and you're not aware of it, you have to have two things before you can get the little ad banners and little interstitial ads and the super chat button. You have to have over 1,000 subscribers, which we do. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We are always happy to have new subscribers. We'll still remind you, if you're new, to go ahead and subscribe and hit that button for notifications, because we want to grow our fan base just like everyone else does. Also, you have to have 4,000 hours of videos watched within the last 12 months. Cumulatively, thank goodness. because I don't think I could put out 4,000 hours of video. I could put out 4,000 hours of video and just one person has to watch it all. Or I could put out 1 hour video and 4,000 people watch it, which would be a lot easier. So if we can get more subscribers and more people coming in all the time, that would be great. So I think when I have I'd like to have at least 10 people in the stream before we pop up the trivia question for the Riverdale giveaway. So at least 10. And what we're going to do is it's going to be the first person who answers it in the stream. And I'm going to, when I see it in the stream, I'm going to wait just a second because, YouTube resorts things sometimes based on the timestamp. You might have sent it in after somebody else did, but theirs hasn't shown up yet. So I'm going to it's the only fair way to do it. I've only got one to give away. So if it's a really close tie, it'll be down to microseconds. And YouTube will be the arbiter on who came in first on that. I can probably find something to give away to a second prize person if there was a really close tie, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. So, and then of course next Saturday night we have, as usual, VLCS guys. Oh, congratulations, Bianca Fights the Zombies! You got your 1,000 hits today. I've been popping by your channel. Not every day, but frequently, because I actually get alerts on your channel, as opposed to some of the other ones that I know I subscribe to and I don't get alerts. It's funny, I'll go to my channel and off to the left, of course, is everybody I subscribe to. And I know that I got an alert that somebody's going live or is live, but they won't have the little live icon next to their name in my list, which is very freaky. Bap, hello there. I have nothing to sell you tonight, Bap, so hopefully you might have something we can give away to you tonight. Unless, of course, somebody comes in and tells us about their comic, which we would love to have happen. I'm going to pull up the Indiegogo page here, because there are a couple of books I've backed recently, and I think that it would be. I'm just gonna promote them myself, even though I get nothing out of them. See if I can do this without doxing myself. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna not dox myself, because it's not like every video I don't pop this right up here and say, hey, here's where we are. And this, of course, is the address I show every video for anybody who wants one of our 3-inch holofoil stickers. All you have to do is just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Critical Blast at 1097 Prestwick Drive, Belleville, Illinois 62221, and we'll send you one of these things. Probably send you 2 of them, actually, so you can share one with a friend. Spread the love around. What have we backed recently? So recently we just backed Fairy Quest. We went in at the $79, well, I think it was the $75 bundle, $4 for shipping. Whatever it was, it came out to $79 total. And that's for Fairy Quest 1, 2, and 3. And that is, those are 3 hardcover volumes from Paul Jenkins. So that's something I was very interested in. We've also backed Florida Man, the graphic novel from Mike Barron. And that's what I wanted to kind of hit on here with this other page. I'm going to share that picture out here. I'm going to go to my referrals page. This is an interesting little page. It's just, it shows you if you've referred somebody into to another book. You don't get anything out of it. It's not like Indiegogo will give you a discount or any kind of points that you build up. But it's something you can look at and say, hey, maybe I didn't back a book, but I directed somebody else to it, so I still feel like I contributed. And of course you did by giving someone free advertising. This one here, I think, there it is, Impossible Stars. There's a few things going on here that I don't know if people have appreciated about your boy Zach's new book. Obviously, enough people have appreciated it to get it 4 times over funding goal, which was, of course, going to happen, and is no doubt going to hit 10 times funding goal, because that's just how it works. First of all, I like the fact that there is this void of stars going through here with this little, the little slash symbol that says "Don't do this," or like there's like no. It's the symbol for no. So here are all the stars that you would look at, and this bar across is saying no, you can't get here. These are the impossible stars. It goes along with the quarantine story that he's got in place here. But the other thing I don't hear people talking about is that there are 2 books for sale here: The Impossible Stars and Nexus. And if you scroll, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of this thing to find out that there is a second book. The art on this thing is gorgeous, by the way. But here, Mike Barron's got a new Nexus comic, and he's selling it as part of the bundle with your boy Zach, with Kelsey Shannon artwork. So that is just super cool. I don't know if you remember Nexus from back in the 80s and early 90s, but it was one of the more forward-thinking science fiction books that were out there. So to see that there's new Nexus adventures, I know that Mike's got a new Nexus novel out there available for sale, but to see more Nexus comics is really cool. He's also doing a crossover, of course, with Mike S. Miller and Doug TenNapel. So there's going to be a Bigfoot Bill Nexus Lone Star crossover, which is going to be an interesting mix. But I like it because it shows that there's the opportunity for more of this kind of collaboration between all these crowdfunding folks. So I know that at one point there was going to be a crossover plan between Don Chin's Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters and Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog. That was in the works. It kind of hit a brick wall, and they put the kibosh on that because it was a Dynamite thing. And when the shit hit the fan with Dynamite over backing Jay Lee and putting out the Cecil cover, they kind of got gun shy on that. So that's probably not going to happen for the foreseeable future. Flying Sparks. Yeah, guys, that's a book that I love the art on that. I've really wanted to get in on that. I just haven't got in at the right moment. I'm probably going to go to Amazon so I can start from the beginning on that and see what's about. I love the fact that it's, the good guy loves the bad guy, and the good girl loves the bad guy. It's John Del Rose. He's not going to write the other stuff. But I don't know enough beyond that. I mean, that kind of a dynamic, that's Batman and Catwoman. If it's more secret identity stuff where they don't know who anybody is outside of the masks and costumes, that might be cool. Are they in love in their civilian identities and fight each other as costumes, or do they love each other in costumes and fight? I'm sure it's the other way around. But anyway, I really need to see it. I agree, Bap. I haven't seen any reviews for it either, other than what's listed, a couple things on Amazon, and they weren't enough to stick in my head. I haven't seen like a real comic book review done on it. I know he's got that Miss Sashi cover for the new project, and I always love her stuff, that very cartoony, very cute pinup cheesecake kind of style. So having her on board is, it draws the eye. And we'll see if it draws my money. I'll watch it until like the last day, and if it's still if it's funded by the last day, then I'll probably jump in on it. It's JDA. I'm sure it's going to fund. He hasn't missed one yet. Yeah, I would get in on the all the books probably if I go through Kickstarter. The thing is, obviously, I've just shown that I've gone in on all the Fairy Quest books. Which was $79. Let me see. It was my contributions. Yeah. So I'm a little short on my funding funds right now. I usually don't go that big into something. Usually $40. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can afford that for a book this month. I'd love to back a lot more than I do, and it's one of the reasons why we do the show is so that I can at least give support in promoting to as many people as I can, and maybe get some funding through the show. And you folks in the chat have been very, very helpful in that. We're always glad to bring things out to you through this show. So let's see what. Okay, I was checking to see if somebody was coming in over on Twitter. Folks are telling people about the show. Good, good. Hope that somebody comes in on that because it's hard to talk to yourself on a show. I mean, I can tell you about the things we've got planned coming up here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about it now because you've seen it on Twitter. You've seen people putting up portions of these contracts that have been put out from Terrific LLC. Those are the folks who have bought Youngblood away from whoever held it. If you thought Rob Liefeld had it, he hasn't owned it for a very long time. And you've seen, Rob very vociferously dissociate himself from the title and from the publisher who's working it up now, which is Terrific Comics or Terrific LLC or whatever they're calling themselves, run by Andrew Rev, who is the guy who took over Comico back in the day and ran it right into the ground in a very short order. So we have been in touch with several of the creators who had been contracted to draw this Youngblood comic. We have heard back from 4 of them. We have feelers out to even more of them. Rhymes, I didn't intend it to. With copies of the contracts that they've gotten, what story a lot of that is that they get one contract, they would do the work, and then they wouldn't get paid, and then a second contract would come out, and they would, be forced to sign that one if they wanted to get paid. One of the contracts, I'm going to open it up here, and I'm going to just clip out the piece I want to see. Because I don't want to show the whole contract because it's got some signatures on it. Let me just take a screenshot of it here. Okay, that'll do that. I'll quit sharing this. And I'll see if I can share that application. Yeah, I can. Okay. All right. So this is one of the clauses in these contracts that have been going out to people who are going to create for Terrific LLC, specifically the Youngblood, and I guess Supreme. I think they bought Supreme as well. So this is hard to follow along with, but we'll try here. Royalty for the entire team comic artist. First rule of writing a contract is you write it in English with grammar and use commas and sentence structure. That makes these very hard to read. So I'm sorry about that. But again, struggling on here. Where did my mouse go? There we go. Royalty for the entire team comic artist will be after 10,000 copies based a % per net sales revenue minus any advance paid the discloser, divided amongst the writer and comic penciler and inker, cover artist, colorist, and letterer, as well as variant cover artists and their royalties. So, if I'm breaking this down correctly, it means that you get a royalty if we sell more than 10,000, and then if we paid you anything in advance, we're going to take it out first. So far, so good. And then we're going to divide up whatever's left for royalties among all these other people. Again, that's how profits to your creators work if they're working on royalties. If everybody's on a royalty, then the royalty is based on the profit. Now, royalties will be paid on any issue 50% within the first year. So we owe you $100, we're going to pay you $50. And 75% within the second year. So now we're going to give you your extra $25, 90% in the third year, and 100% in the fourth. None of that makes any sense. So there's math here that is just freaking crazy, and it makes absolutely no sense at all. The royalties terminate Now, pay particularly close attention to this one, because this is what this made my blood boil on behalf of these creators. The royalties terminate when the royalties paid exceed 30 times the page rate, or the recipient has refused to accept new projects from the discloser. If they offer you a new project and you refuse to do it, you've forfeited your royalties for what you've already done. So if you do issue 1 of a series and you're not making the money that you thought you would, or it's coming in slow, if at all, and then they say, yeah, we know that you're owed a lot of money here and we're getting to it, but here's issue 2, and you say, I don't want to do issue 2, then they're saying, well, then we don't have to pay you for issue 1. I think that's called theft. I'm almost certain that's called theft. And I think that's probably why they're almost exclusively targeting creators who are overseas, because it makes it harder for them to fight back. And then, of course, the last part on here is the president of the discloser. It means Andrew Rev, the president of Terrific LLC, determines the royalty split among the various artists, and president's decision is final. So all these people who are listed up here, the writer, the penciler, the inker, the cover artist, the colorist, the letterer, the variant cover artists, the president is going to determine who gets the lion's share of all of this. That's not codified into the contract. That you basically codified a whim, and that's not cool. So this is the article we're working on, and it's going to get very, very deep. Like I said, we've got interviews with 4 creators so far. We're hoping to get a few more in, but we're not going to be waiting on them anymore. We're just going to work with what we got, and then we will be moving forward and publishing and seeing where that goes. So, yeah, you know what? I'm not a contract lawyer, so I'm just reading this based on the plain English understanding of what's written here. And it's very hard to get plain English understanding when it's not even written in plain English. I have had the foresight to at least forward a copy of these contracts to a small law firm in central Minnesota to, see if they might have an opinion that would contribute to the article that we could publish on. But I have not yet heard back anything other than, yes, we'll take a look at it, or yes, we haven't heard about this. Tell us more, that kind of thing. So no commitments. I'm not saying that we're going to actually have quotes and comments from that particular agency, but fingers crossed. So maybe if you tag a certain media account on Twitter and say, hey, have you seen these things? What do you think? They might know that there's more of a demand to know about it. And then, of course, he'll just run his own show and we won't hear anything about it, and all the traffic will go to them, because that's how it works, right? Well, it's been a half an hour and I am still the only window down here. So maybe Sunday night's just not the best night to do an open mic live stream, I guess. Or maybe, we have 1,000 subscribers and they all have their notifications turned off. I wonder if I could turn their notifications on. That'd be kind of cool. No, I don't think they give you that kind of control. So I don't know what's coming out this next week in comics. I can read the previews and find out. I like to be surprised. I've still got to get into my review on Three Jokers. I'm hesitant because I liked it, but I think Jeff Johns has kind of gotten screwed with the DC universe and everything he's set up to do in it. Between Doomsday Clock and Three Jokers, I think everything that was going to go on. Jeff Johns is the guy who stitches together plot holes. He's the fix-it, Mr. Fix-It for DC. If there's something that doesn't make sense from 20 years ago to today, he's generally the guy who can fill in the pavement and patch it over and say, okay, here's why this story that doesn't seem to make sense actually does make sense. I mean, any guy who can take Hawkman and make sense of it after the crisis deserves respect. So between his Three Jokers and his Doomsday Clock, which should have both had impacts on the mainstream DC universe, I think he's gotten screwed, which is a shame. Maybe AT&T will end up bringing him back, but they've instead chosen to bring back Mark Waid for some reason. Well, that's neither here nor there. We'll see what Mark Waid does with Superman. I wonder if the other channels don't do a lot on Sunday because they're finding out, like I am, that there's just not a whole lot going on Sunday. Everybody's in church. That's what it is. Everybody's in church. Well, you know what? We've got 3 people here. I wonder if I'm just going to run the trivia anyway. I mean, why not? I said I was going to do it, and it's 30 minutes in, and I said 30 minutes in I would run the trivia. So let's just throw this thing up here. So, 4, Riverdale, Season 4, DVD, still in the shrink wrap, will arrive same way. The question is, in Pep Comics #1, by what name does Archie Andrews introduce himself to his new next-door neighbor, Betty Cooper? The first correct chat wins the Riverdale, the complete 4th season. So, yeah, DC, boy, I didn't want DC to go woke. And I'm still got a lot of hope that they won't, because I don't know. I don't know enough about this new guy, Cherry, who's taking over and what his philosophies are. I don't know what he knows about comics, so what role he's going to fulfill in turning the company around. You can't turn around a comic book company if you don't know anything about comic books. If you're not a fan, if you don't know what the fans want, by inherently wanting those things yourself, then you're doomed to not be able to provide them to the fans. If you don't have a love for Superman, if you can't sit down and say, my favorite Superman story was this, and I read Batman during the years when this was happening, if you can't do those things, you've got no business pushing the direction of the company that makes those products. Because then you're just going to look at them as if they are just a product. They're just a widget. It's a cog with a cowl. It's a battery with a cape. They're not these kind of things. This is an artistic endeavor, and you can't just crank it out. Yeah, I am up against an EVS live stream, which, by the way, I did not know until I actually came in to start the live stream. I announced the thing last night, and then this morning, and then at noon, and then just live stream over on either channel. Well, God bless him. He's got. Wait a second. They brought Mark Waid back as a high-level guy. I thought he was just doing a short story, and he might come back and do more Superman. I don't know that he can come back. Would he leave his publisher post at Humanity First and leave humanoids in the lurch? Are they in the lurch? Are they still publishing Ignited and all its attendant titles? I don't know. I wanted Ignited to continue publishing, not because I like the comic books, but I got a kick out of all the reviews that were on YouTube. So yeah, every time there was a new Ignited book out, or a new what was her name? I don't know. Your boy Zach and just some guy would come in and obliterate it. So yeah, Mark Waid, I like some of his stuff. As a writer, I have read things by Mark Waid that I thought were good. Now, one of those things is Kingdom Come, and from what I hear, I guess a lot of that story was actually driven by Alex Ross, who did all the artwork on it, which makes a lot of sense. I wonder if Alex Ross had a similar influence with Marvel X, or what was it, Earth X with Marvel, or Jim Kruger was more of a driver on that one, because they were very, very similar in storytelling style. And of course, when you have the same artist and the stories kind of sound the same, it's easy to think that the artist might be driving the story more than the writer. Mark Waid is a new form of life that people wished remained undiscovered. Are we sure it's life? It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. I really hope he doesn't come back to DC, though. Though Mark Waid invented the Speed Force. So ever since then, he has just ruined the Flash. The Flash was perfectly fine being a guy who got hit by lightning and chemicals and it changed his body. That's all that was necessary for superpowers to happen. A cosmic accident. And now there's this, it's a cosmic force out there that's all about speed. Why? Why is there a cosmic force out there that's all about speed other than to enable lazy storytelling? Which is all that's happened now, because now it's enabled other writers to come in and say, well, there's a speed force, there might be a slow force. And now they've used the slow force, and somebody's tapped into it. And there's a negative speed force. What is negative speed? Negative speed is stopped. It's like I'm traveling at negative speed right now. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's the equivalent of the emotional spectrum for the lanterns. It's, once you figured out that, oh, there's a green and a yellow, well, let's just fill out every other color. And these rings have been around all the time. We just never knew it. And, neither did the Green Lantern Corps. But, now they're all here. We've got blue lanterns. We've got purple lanterns, indigo. Gold Lantern is in the Legion of Superheroes, and of course, if we're talking lazy writing, let's just mix the emotional spectrum of lanterns with Brian Michael Bendis. That's the perfect storm of lazy writing. There did not need to be a speed force. It certainly does not need to be a sentient speed force. And of course, then that means that there's forces of everything else that's out there. If there's anything that's an activity or an action, there must be a force out there that we are all drawing off of. What if there's a normal force? Just, what do we do? Well, we allow people to act normally. They act normally because they're drawing off of our force. That is the stupidest thing in the world. So thank you, fuck you, Mark Waid, for introducing the Speed Force to the Flash. So is the question really that hard? because it's tricky. It was not. He did not introduce himself as Archie. When he was first a character out there, Archie Comics had a name for him that was going to be used, and they even said, if you don't call him by this name, he might just sock you in the eye, because he was a bit of a daredevil. But that was Pep Comics #1. It's been reprinted tons of times in digests and in hardcovers. My son's got you don't know what Riverdale is? You mean the show? You don't know what Riverdale is? Okay. Oh, now we have a show. Riverdale is, of course, the town where Archie Andrews lives. Archie from Archie Comics. Betty, Veronica, Reggie, Moose, Dilton Doily, Jughead. All of them live in Riverdale, and it's Riverdale, USA. It's like Springfield on The Simpsons. They've got mountains, they've got beach. It can be anything at any time to anybody. And it's populated by people that, you see on a regular basis. Pop Tate's Chocolate Shop, Mr. Weatherby and Ms. Grundy at Riverdale High, all the different teachers there. So about 4 or 5 years ago, Riverdale became a television show on the CW. Now, the first hint that things were not going to be anything at all like the comic book series was that they brought in Robert Aguirre Sacasa as the showrunner. This made me angry because it pulled him away from doing Afterlife with Archie. Betty, R.I.P., has been a suspended storyline cliffhanger for 6 frickin' years. I want closure. Afterlife with Archie was one of the best things that ever happened. Riverdale, season 1, pilot episode. We see Betty changing into her shirt, bra on in front of the mirror, looking out the window of her bedroom into the bedroom of Archie Andrews, who has been working all summer at his father's construction company. And who's laying on Betty's bed while she's changing? Kevin Keller. And they're looking at Archie like, whoa, Archie got abs over the summer. So automatically we've got this, sexy teen comedy, not comedy, I'm sorry, sexy teen angsty thing going on here. Betty takes Ritalin because she's got, Asperger's of some kind. And she's always, once she focuses on something, she can't let go of it. Her mother's BITCH, Alice Cooper. I love that. Archie's been busy over the summer. Archie's been banging Miss Grundy. Now, if you've seen Miss Grundy in the comic books, first thing you're going to go is, ew. But they made Miss Grundy in the television show much younger. She's a music teacher. She's still a teacher. He's still a student. They got away with it. Since then, they've introduced serial killers who have, killed some of the not main characters, but longtime recurring characters. You just don't know what's going to happen. They've been selling drugs. Veronica's father, Hiram Lodge, is actually a mob boss. and in the 4th season here, they got a mystery going on because somebody's been leaving videotapes on people's doorsteps. VHS, go figure, of just recordings of the front of their house. Somebody's been watching the front of their house. And they sit there and they watch the videotapes like something's going to happen. We don't know who it is. Might be the principal of the high school because Mr. Weatherby lost his hand to a cult. It's all over the place freaky. It's nothing at all like your comic book series, and it's not your father's Archie. And once I started watching, I could not stop watching. Testify watches Riverdale, I'm sure, don't you, Testify?
Why am I here?
You're here to help people want to enter our trivia contest to win Riverdale season 4.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Make sure you watch Riverdale. Yeah, I watch it all the time. I can't remember the last time. I mean, it's the greatest show in the history of cinema and television.
You know what's really fun to do when you're sitting there watching Riverdale?
What's that?
You reach into your bag of yellow wristbands and you pull back and you fling them at the.
Have you seen what George Peter Gatsis has done with them?
I have not.
You don't want to.
He hasn't eaten them, has he? With mustard?
It's coming close. We're getting a little scared about it because there might be a class action lawsuit brought on about him.
Oh no! That why does that not surprise me?
Because he's weird. He's just weird.
True.
It's fine.
You'd think he'd wear 4 or 5 of them on one wrist just to cover the mole.
He put 10 of them on.
Well, then that
literally yesterday, 10 on his one wrist. It was very. I'm like, why did you buy 10 to begin with? What the hell is wrong with you?
If you're going to buy 10 on one, you need to buy 20 then, so you can at least look like Captain Marvel. and had the wristbands.
You caught me in the mid eating. No. I can't. No, I can't do it.
You can't eat, or you can't see him wearing 20 wristbands, 10 on each arm.
No, I have a picture of George and Captain Marvel in my head, and it's ruining everything. It's horrible.
Which Captain Marvel are you seeing him as Shazam or as Carol Danvers?
The only one that matters, my queen, Brie Larson, the greatest actor of all time.
True.
She's going to save Star Wars. She's going to save Star Trek. It's going to be awesome.
What else could she save, though? Do you think they could remake Harry Potter and cast her as Hermione, and she could save Harry Potter?
There isn't a franchise she couldn't ruin. I mean, save. She couldn't save. It would. She was the ultimate actress in the world. I love her, and anybody that talks ill of her has to deal with me.
Well, I've heard her name and Wood used together frequently. I always assumed that meant you would watch one of her movies and get Wood, but
why?
I don't know. I heard she was
She made actually she didn't make it, but there was a great other version of Captain Marvel made. I heard about.
Yeah,
I heard it was the best-selling one of all time. I think actually.
One of those Captain Marvels is Wood, and the other one creates Wood.
Yeah, it's wow. She does have a nice plank. That's all I know.
And the costume actually looked better.
I think the actress looked better personally, even though she wasn't there for the right part. But okay,
she was there for my part. That's all.
I know.
I
was trying to be PG friendly.
She conveyed more emotion.
Oh, she conveyed something. Definitely conveyed something.
Oh, I think if they were to put Brie Larson in a film with Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence could be okay alone. Okay, not greatest, but okay.
I'm thinking of her in Twilight.
You watch those. How can you watch those willingly?
It's my job.
I know it's your job. I go with my ex-wife. She made me watch the first two, and I'm going, kill me, please, kill me. I don't get it.
The third one. The best part about that first movie was vampire baseball. That was it for me. I was like, seriously? But yeah, no, this whole we can't go out in sunlight because we sparkle.
I'm the worst person to watch those movies with because they're horrible in my opinion. But that's my opinion.
I bet it would be fun to watch those movies with you though, and do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing with it.
Could it be unedited and put a rating of I might say a lot of obscenities through it, going, what the hell is this crap the entire time?
I think our ratings is required for a proper beatdown of a movie like that.
That or unrated, whatever you want to call it, because I can't. Those movies are so horrible. They're teeny bopper movies that are bad even.
Yeah, well, we couldn't do it on YouTube because YouTube would strike me. I've been getting more and more copyright notices lately.
Well, that's why I'm an angry bird now.
Yeah. Oh, I see that.
You see that? Yeah, we previewed the Mandalorian for season 2 that's coming out.
Right.
And I thought it'd be funny. I'm like, as I go, okay, I have a world premiere, and I pulled the 7-year-old Star Wars Angry Birds commercial.
Okay.
That was made by the company Roxio before Disney even took them over, or took the Star Wars label, whatever is the IP. And I go, okay, and I played it, and it was the Angry Birds trailer that you could buy on Google Play and everything. And then I'm like, that's not the trailer. So then I played the real trailer. Next day, they took the whole stream down because of it. Roxio did. because of playing that, and I had to go edit the 37-second part out to get the claim drop. It actually took it down, didn't take a claim, took the stream down because of it.
Jeez, I had a guy in last night pushing a comic book, and we brought up his Indiegogo page and played the Indiegogo trailer. That's all we played. So it was his video that got me struck. And it was for the music. And the thing is, I've never had a strike. I've had notices that, hey, you've got copyrighted material in here.
Yeah, you get the claim.
Yeah, they're going to make some of the money off of your ads. I'm like, good luck.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. But it was some music, and this time it only got muted in France. So
I had that, but it happened in where was I? Keep going. I'm sorry. I'll remember it. We had that happen. It was like one country that nobody probably watching it ever is in. God, it was like, I can't remember.
We've lost our audience. We've lost the audience in Botswana. Oh my God, what will we do?
But the thing is this: why didn't the guy know that though? That you played the video from? He should have known you would have got claimed for it.
I would have thought so, because apparently whatever music he put over his video wasn't public domain, or he didn't do it himself. But those videos, aren't those YouTube videos anyway? I'm pretty sure
they're YouTube videos if the user created it, but whatever music was used, if it's not original or royalty-free music, it will get claimed. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that he should have gotten a strike notice when he first put his video up and put it into his Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I go, the guy should have known that. Playing it on your thing, he should have told you, hey, you got actually a strike or a claim.
It was just a claim.
Oh, okay, because that's where there's a difference. I understand now the difference between a claim and a strike. And like with us, because we don't have over 1,000 subs, I'm going, I don't care. Go ahead, claim it. But I try not to. I try to keep it so that we don't get claimed. But if we do, I'm like, yeah, who cares? It's fun.
I certainly don't go out of my way. I had I had Crystal Hunt on, and I was like, hey, you're doing a show. Let's show the opening theme song to your show, which is on the streaming service. And it was a YouTube video that was, here's the opening song. So I played that, and the next day I had a claim, not from the television station or the streaming service.
Yeah, from the artist.
From the actual musicians who had licensed it for the opening theme song.
Yeah, the thing, there's a guy that I have he's really good at doing he does trailer he makes his own versions of trailers. Yeah. But he takes the clips from the movie, and they're just so quick, and you won't get claimed if you just show little clips. But he makes his own music composition to it, and he's a star. I got it from the Star Wars thing, but he makes a bunch of different ones. I have his written permission to show it on our stream, and we've never been claimed once. Cool. And you have to make sure whatever you're showing is theirs, or if it isn't theirs, they know that it's going to get claimed and tell you at least before you play it, just in case, because. Like with us, I'm going, I don't care if we get claimed. It doesn't matter. But I don't play a ton of copyrighted stuff.
Yeah. We used to get clips sent to us from like Discovery Channel back when Mountain Monsters was a thing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, here are the videos. We sent you the WMV. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this WMV? I've got to host it on something to be able to play it in the write-up of the article.
Yeah.
So I loaded it to YouTube. And
Discovery claims it.
Yeah. They and again, it's just like, hey, we're just, claiming the ad revenue if we get any. At the time, we actually had ad revenue. It was before YouTube rewrote the rules on it.
Well, you got to play by their rules, unfortunately. And if I know, the thing is this: if I know the rules, I have no problem with it. That thing that happened with Roxy, I'm going. We played their whole ad in full, didn't edit it. I'm going. It was an ad for their stupid game that was 7 years old, and they claim, and it took the whole thing down actually. And I'm going, what the hell? We were playing Disney. We didn't get claimed for the Disney thing or anything like that.
Nope. Yeah, the claims are weird. I figure we're 2,500 hours away from YouTube changing the rules again.
We'll see.
We've got over 1,000 subscribers. We've got 1,500 viewing hours. Hopefully after tonight, we were 1,495. But talking about changing the rules on things, I don't know if you saw earlier. We were talking about this whole terrific LLC comic book publishing thing.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You remember Rob Liefeld, Youngblood?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they bought Youngblood.
Oh, okay.
And they're getting ready to put out Youngblood comics. But here's the thing. They've been sending out a contract to people. And then after they sign it and they do the artwork, they send out another contract that says, no, this contract is the real contract.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it me coming in? I'm hearing myself twice.
No,
I'm not.
Seems to have stopped now. Gabriel Hernandez was almost in here, and then he came back out. But this is a piece of one of the contracts. I was going to see whether or not I'm insane or if I'm seeing this correctly here. Royalty for the entire team comic artist. Yeah, he's not writing this in English, by the way. And this is Andrew Rebb, an American citizen, writing this way. Royalty for the entire team comic will be after 10,000 copies, based a percent per net sales revenue minus any advance paid to discloser. So automatically, it's like,
is he selling that many?
He hadn't sold any yet. He hadn't even published a book.
Okay, I think I haven't really followed him. Does he have a track record of selling that many?
He has a track record of being the president of Comico back when Comico.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in modern day and just the times we're in now. Because that I see that I'm going, you're not making any money other than what your
whatever your advance was. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever your salary, whatever you want to call it, stipend.
Exactly. And then he's got this royalties. It's going to be divided among the writer, the penciler, the inker, the cover artist, the colorist, the letterer, the variant artists.
That means you have to be making a ton of money to make any money off of it.
Exactly. And there's other crap in here, like, the president of the discloser determines the royalty split among the various artists. That means to me that, hey, when we make a profit, I'm going to decide whether I want to give, 10% to you and 50% to this guy. That's got to be codified. This is the part that got me. The royalties terminate when the royalties paid exceed 30 times the page rate, which means that we made a shit ton of money, which is okay. Or the recipient has refused to accept new projects.
That's their way of keeping them under contract or keeping them working for them.
Yeah, that's called indentured servitude.
It is, but here's the way I would put it. If I was in the position of signing a deal, I'd read that and go, you're insane, and throw it back at them. Like, what are you doing? But if you sign it, you're stuck to it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people hadn't been signing it. This has been like the second contract. The first contract would come out from one guy, and it would be like sane. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get paid so many dollars per page, and here we go. And then they do the pages and turn them in, and then it's like, oh, no. We he didn't have the right to give you a contract. I'm the president of the company. Here's the real contract. You have to sign this if you want to get paid.
There's too many variables for me to sign that right there. I can just tell you that now. If it was me, I'd go, I'm confident in myself and all those, but there's too many variables where I wouldn't sign that. There's no way I would sign a contract to that.
And that's just one paragraph of it. I mean, I clipped it because
I see that's only the third one, and there's a lot of things in that third thing there.
Yeah, it's insane. So there have been people who've been clipping portions of the contracts and sharing them out on Twitter. And a lot of the artists have been, professional artists like DC and Marvel artists have been talking about it, saying this is you don't want to get in on this.
Well, it's one of those things that just every person that signs a deal needs to know what the deal says. And if you're a smart business person, you should know by what that reads there. And I'm going, I don't even know the other parts to it. I'd have to see it to go, how does that one part of it justify me to sign? And by reading just that one part, I'm going, you're insane. There's no way I'd sign this deal.
Yeah.
Go pound sand.
Well, they've got somebody apparently, I guess they paid him because he's doing the artwork and he's starting to show it. But they've got a lot of people who did artwork and did not get paid. Gabe, can you hear us out there? Gabe, you're muted.
Let's try that. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm getting a weird echo. It's just very strange.
It happens.
Do you have your speakers on?
Okay, good.
I don't know if it's because a lot of times, because I use a headset, I don't have speakers.
Yeah, I'm not using a headset anymore.
No, I'm using a headset.
Okay. It sounds like you got a lag. There's a lag.
So what's going on, Gabe?
Yeah,
Definitely a lag.
it could be. It could be. Let me see if I can fix it.
Yeah, there's like a 3 to 5 second lag, it seems like.
Close out some of these extra windows I don't need now. Oh. Crap, it's Sunday. I gotta go back to work tomorrow.
Oh, shoot, I'm missing the football game.
They're playing football again?
Yeah, definitely.
I figured with the beer bug and everything, it was all going to be virtual football.
No. Too much money. Too much money involved. That's why I laughed and everybody questioned me. They're going, yeah, college football. I'm like, no. Just watch. You'll see. You see how that beer bug goes away when the money comes into play.
Yeah. Well, nothing repels the virus like a good football game or protest.
No, well, one of them I'd agree with. Protest, no.
No, but you can have mass protests and yeah, you're fine. Church protests are attractive though. You can't
Yeah,
because the virus is just the virus.
Well, because college football started, they have a rule. They're letting the stadium. They're only filled to 20% capacity, which is 20% more than all the other professional leagues out there. I'm going, money. That's why there's too much money involved. Nobody watches NBA, baseball. They do watch football, and I think they learned after the first week. They got their butts handed to them because of all the protests and whatever crap. But it's one of those things.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year. I want to redo this year.
Why? I think it was a great learning.
All right, how's that now? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. You hear me great. Can you hear us okay?
All right. I'll be back. I got to go. I'll be back.
All right. Please testify.
Yeah, there's definitely a lag from the time that you talk to the time I get it back. It's probably about a 2 or 3 second delay.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Are my lips matching my words? I'm going to say no. And we still haven't had anybody.
No, not in the slightest.
So I feel
okay.
like
I'll figure it out.
I'm a Japanese monster movie right now. Can you hear me? Yes. We still haven't had anybody get the trivia question right.
Yeah.
Oh! What is this, Bap? You. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, Bap. Well, it's official. I won't be backing anything for around a month or so. Just got the message that I won Transformers. Oh, you won as in you won an eBay auction. Haha. I get ya. Yeah. Cool. Transformers Masterpiece MP02 Soundwave Toys R Us exclusive. So Gabe, are you mowing the lawn now?
Let's try this now. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. Am I still lagging to you?
Yeah, really, really badly. Let me see if I can figure out something else.
Well, while we're doing that, I will remind everybody once again, because I just created the thing, that you can find us online at criticalblast.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at Critical Blast, or at facebook.com/Critical Blast, or on Instagram at Critical Blast. But, that first one there, that website one, that's the one we really want you to go to, because that is that's where the articles are. And it doesn't cost you anything to go there. You can go there in your free time, read an article, bookmark us, come back and visit us when we have new reviews up. And Gabe had a squirrel at the microphone there for just a minute, I think.
Give me like 10 minutes.
Your mic is on. Oh boy, you do have a lag. And also, to remind you that we can get you these Critical Blast 3-inch.
All right, is that a little bit better?
Your sound has always been good, Gabe. It's always been good. It's just apparently there's a time difference between me talking to you and you hearing it.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to try and rework my sound a little bit. So I just want to drop in and say hi. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk a little bit sometime in the future. But
yeah, we'll probably do this like every Sunday night, because people just don't schedule Sunday nights.
Yeah, but that. Yep. All right. Well, thanks a lot, RJ. Great stream. Keep it up, and I'll talk to you soon.
See you, Gabe. Thank you. And it looks like we'll be giving away Riverdale on another stream, because, gosh, we just don't have anybody who knows the answer to the trivia question. And I guess it would help if I put it back up there, which is that one right there. So trivia question remains, and will be the same. I'm not going to say it's going to be the same trivia question next time. I might come up with a different trivia question. But by what name does Archie Andrews introduce himself to the new next-door neighbor, Betty Cooper? That was the story, by the way, in Pet Comics #1. Betty Cooper moving into the house next door, and Archie showing off and getting into trouble by basically ruining everything that Mr. Cooper was moving in. Veronica did not appear for a while. It was Archie and Betty. So they did not. Have I heard of the? I've heard of Punchline. I've not heard of the Punchline Blood Sisters comic. Is that are they crowdfunding that one? Because I know Punchline is through Antarctic Press. Is it any good? I've heard a lot of good things about Punchline, but I have not seen it on the shelf at my comic shop and picked it up. So I would do that. I'd love to read it. From what I understand, it's not a character named Punchline. It's just the name of the book. I know this because of all the Punchline trademark stuff that was going on between DC and Hero Tomorrow, because they both had characters named Punchline, and then the Punchline book came out. Oh, it's the first 5 books collected. Okay, cool. Good opportunity to catch up on what that's all about. Is that by the same folks that are doing Rags? I've got to check out that too, because I see a lot of Rags. I see a lot of Punchline. It always seems to be all the people running in the same circle, with the Rags, the Punchline, the Black Hops, and Common America. Common America's got a new book coming out. I backed the first one. I don't know if I'm going to back the second one or not. It was good, but it's not like something I want to keep following. It's just not my genre. The funny superhero cartoony kind of thing. I'm not a My Hero Academia kind of reader, so I'm not the audience. I appreciate the art. I think the story's fine. It's not something that I'm hooked on, that I have to come back for all the time. All right, so with an hour and 11 in, and a little bit of guests showing up, and we pushed a little bit of other people's comics that I think are worth backing, and I'm going to be backing myself. And preview of what we're going to be working on here in the near future. I think we might as well just wrap this one up here. We'll save this Riverdale DVD set, and we will throw it out on the next live stream and see what we do with that. Iconic Comics. That's Doug Ernst's outfit, isn't it? He publishes through them. So I'll go check it out. Do that tonight. We have shows coming up here. We've got Nick Mueller coming up on Tuesday with Demon Hunter Raven. On Thursday, we have Kazu Kabuishi from the Amulet graphic novel series from Scholastic. Saturday, of course, is the LCS guys. Every other Saturday, we have the local comic shop guys from around the country come together and talk about what's going on in the industry. And then looking way, way out into October, because the guy is just so busy and so popular, we will have Jimmy Gownley, comic creator, on here. He's the guy who was behind the phenomenal comic book and graphic novel series Amelia Rules. He's got a new project coming out, and we're going to be talking about that in October. So just keep watching the live stream notifications. If you haven't subscribed and hit that bell, now would be a good time to do so before you take off and go somewhere else. And we will be chatting with you again probably tomorrow. We don't have anybody lined up, so if you are pushing a comic, you want to promote your project, hit us up on Twitter at Critical Blast and let us know that you'd like to reserve that spot, and we will give it to you for the entire hour to push your project. Thanks for coming, guy. Appreciate it.